Hello, everyone. Good evening. Here we go. Let's see.
I love your backdrop. Again, I think I've already said that. It's awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Just gonna do a volume check here. Appreciate that. Okay. So, welcome everyone. Okay, just pulling up some things to make sure we are on. So I can see the chat. I also just made a post. So if you're joining us, happy Thursday. It is our week number 4. I'm here with Ronda Veal.
Hey, 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 everybody. Hey, hey.
Today, okay, so this week we are going to talk about uh, when you're ready to buy a home. So that's going to be our topic.
I don't know if it's on my end, but you're going kind of in and out. So if I don't hear you, um, I'll let you know. But it is going like high and low. So I heard the topic today is when you're ready to buy a home. Everybody's time is different, but it is a great time when you come up with, hey, the next step is moving into financial wealth and stability for my family. Let's put down some roots and let's make our first purchase. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes. And remember, guys, this is Q&A. We don't want you just sitting there listening to us talk. If you have a real estate question, put it in the comments. It doesn't even have to be about tonight's topic.
Yeah, let's hear some of the challenges that make it difficult for you to make that decision. I know we can, put the number one thing, the challenge on top is always, credit. And it's interesting to me that that comes up before income will. So I guess I would like to know why do we challenge ourselves or find an insecure credit before we think, well, wait, do I make enough? Do I have the income to support making this move? Yeah. So, what challenges have you heard, Veleta, when you're talking to your buyers? Is it income first or credit first? Because I guess you and I will have to have a conversation until someone chimes in with a question.
Well,
I don't want to just chat on my own
I would say challenges that I hear are,
first.
uh,
Yeah.
well, how much money do I need to have? And
Okay.
one of the biggest challenges, though, is it's always hearing my credit, So I know that's a big deal, and you want to make sure you have great credit. But like we talked about in our previous Q&A regarding credit, it just depends because if you've got a great job, you've been there for a long time, you ran into some issues that might have brought your credit down. There's ways to work on that, and your lender would be a perfect person to talk to and let them know what's going on. And they'll see how they can help you, as well as if you're working with someone that does credit repair. That's also not a bad thing if you need to do that. But, that's one of the biggest challenges that I do here. Yes,
Now, one thing I would caution anybody that's researching or thinking about buying before you go and hire that credit repair,
right.
restoration, that individual, first and foremost, have the conversation with the lender. Because a lot of times the things that you may think is going to hinder you, the lender's not even looking at. So, again, before you put any money out, saying, hey, first I'm going to work on my credit, then I'll have a conversation with you. No, I would say the steps would be first is to make an educated decision that it's time for me to make this purchase. Your next step is to immediately talk to a lender to evaluate your purchasing power or any blocks that you may have in making this purchase.
Mhm. Yes. Great point, Rhonda. Great point. So, your lender is very important when you start this process when you're ready to buy a home. So you want to start early and talk to your lender.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with a question for everybody watching. And even if you come in at another time and you're watching, if you wanted to buy a house right now, would you know what your first step should be? If you could put yes or no in the comments.
Well, everybody listening, it should be a yes because I just told you. I let the secret, the cat out the bag, what your first step should be. So share the information, share the live, invite people to come in and have a conversation with us because we're dropping some nuggets for you each time we come on and spend this time with you. Trust me, we are giving you some nuggets.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, the number two thing I would say to really think about in this home buying process is
Hmm.
absolutely the type of home, but the type of home also is tied to the location of the home. So a lot of folks, I have the real conversation and say, listen, your ideal home is beautiful. I would consider this to be your forever home. Right now, we don't have enough coins to purchase your forever home. So allow me to take you out a little bit further to get a home that's in line with what you're looking for right now. You stay in that home for 2 years, 3 years, allow it to grow equity to, again, equity means money in terms. Once you sell, you take the equity out of that home and you use that money to move you closer to your forever home. A lot of buyer consultations, again, the first thing we ask is what is your ideal type of home? And everyone goes to their forever home. So if we're not in a forever situation or we're not able to be in our forever home, please be open minded to say, hey, I have to start somewhere and I have to be able to be on that I-4 corridor. I need to be able to be flexible and add a little 15 to 20-minute commute, which is going to save me, close to $700-800 on my mortgage, which allows me to save that money and put it toward my forever home. So the second step, what I'm saying is being open to potentially not getting your forever home right now and willing to make the step to buy a home that's going to set you up for success into that forever home.
Right. Hmm. Okay.
So that's your
So,
second step, buyer consultation with your
right.
favorite preferred
So
lender.
as you're moving through the buying journey, you're asking, as we're saying, am I financially ready? And then pre-approval, right? So that's where you're going to be going after. You want to get pre-approved before you start looking. So that's important to do. Get pre-approved. Um, and we actually did an entire Q&A on how much house can I really afford. Because what you're approved for and what you're comfortable paying, basically what Rhonda is saying too, you know, every month isn't necessarily the same thing. So would you rather buy the maximum you're approved for or stay below that amount and have more breathing room every month? So that's a question you want to ask yourself. So So understanding your timeline and when you're going to be doing this purchase, whether it's right now, within 6 months, next year, let us know what your timeline is. So we can help you get on board with the next step for you. So Rhonda, you made some really great points there. Like you said, like what are you actually looking for? Okay, so let's pretend everybody watching has their pre-approval. Now we get to start looking at houses. Tell us one thing your next absolutely has to have home. What would that be? Tell us. Is it a pool, garage, big kitchen? Like what it would it look like for you? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay. So we're waiting for some folks here to just let us know what it would be like for you. And even if you're watching later, we would love to know. So please go ahead and reach out. So, okay, Rhonda, we found the house, right? We found the house that they're looking for, right? So let's talk about what happens now. Um, what kind of things that we're looking at? I mean, I know you're gonna be looking at, is this in the neighborhood I want? I know all of these things are probably gonna come up in your mind, but you found the house that you really want. What are some things that we find, Rhonda, when this happens, about what happens
Well, that falls under, I guess, what I previously said, that
now? Mhm.
those things that are on your list may not be things that are in your temporary home or your equity building stage. Those things may be things that are in your forever home. So again, you got to have those things that you're able to be patient and wait on and say, hey, I'm going to plant my roots in this home for a year, 2 years, build equity, then I'm going to purchase the next home. So in the buyer's consultation, once we've had that discussion and we're looking at properties, then we go, we find 3 or 4 homes that's closely matching to what you're looking for. And from there, we talk about, hey, the farther out, I can get more square footage. I can get more of these things that I'm looking for. I can be patient and wait to build equity. Again, I'm stressing that equity portion. And then, 2, 3 years, look to buy my forever home or purchase another home that's closely matching what I'm looking for. Stay there for a year or two, build even more equity, and boom, now I have taken the ladder. I call it, the ladder. Sometimes it's not a direct approach, you know, hey, I want to buy a house, I buy my forever home. Sometimes you have to take the latter approach, and that is taking those steps to get you to your forever home.
Right.
Yep. So once you've done that, you know, again, you've already discussed with the lender because there are going to be certain things that you have to have money to prepay for, home inspection, appraisal, and so forth. Those discussions with your
Mhm.
lender.
Right.
Once you have those things set in place, we identify a home that's going to work for you. We submit an offer, and then we go into the home buying stages. So it's not a hard process. What it is that we have to be deliberate in our intent. If our intent is to purchase a home, you absolutely want to partner with a professional. Take the steps that are required because everybody's direction is different. Everybody's map into home ownership is different, and from
Yes.
there, I understand people have had horror stories, and it's unfortunate, but it is, for the most part, for my clients, it is not a difficult process.
Exactly.
I'm going
Yes.
to always set them up for success.
Mhm. Yes. Very important to work with your realtor and your lender and all the people that will be involved on your behalf to get you started in the process so that we can go to the fun part, which is from contract to closing and your keys, right? So I just want to ask, what would make you more nervous, making the offer or finding out whether they accepted it? Would you be nervous making your first offer on a house? Tell us. So we're going from contract to closing and then your keys. So we have to make that offer, and then it has to be accepted. So that is the big picture, getting to the keys, right? That's what we're working towards. So finally, you get the keys. And so it's contract, like Rhonda talked about, inspections. Yeah, and then there's the financing, appraisal, as needed, your title, closing, preparing for that, and your final walkthrough and closing. So has anybody done that already? Has anyone done their first purchase and did the offer, making the offer and waiting? Were you nervous about it, or any stories, anything you want to tell us? Because like Rhonda said, it doesn't have to be hard. We just have to prepare. Okay. And Rhonda, what's your favorite part of seeing a buyer finally get to closing?
Now, favorite part is absolutely handing those keys over.
Yes.
I think that's the favorite part for everybody because
Yes.
that is the check mark of we did it.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. That is. Exactly. Yes. I totally agree with that. And opening the door to your home the very first time with your keys. That is an amazing feeling. Time to celebrate that big moment that you made it. Okay, so we walked all the way from I think I want to buy a house to getting the keys. So, what questions do you have? Any questions? So credit, buying, selling, new construction, down payments, the market, a lot of questions here. So whatever you've been wondering about, put it in the comments. We'll be happy to answer. Just working over here trying to see who's here and to go ahead and comment and let us know. We'll be happy to answer questions. All right, so as you all know, these lives will be available. So if you're not here now, or if you decide you want to make a comment, you can always do that at any time at your convenience. All right. So we will be coming back live again for week 5. And if you have a specific topic that you would like us to talk about, feel free also to recommend those topics for us. Anything that you might be unsure about in the buying process or selling, we can help with those questions. All right. Well, I think that that's all we're going to go over, but uh, we were asking if you all had any questions, and some questions that I'm sure we answered most of them today. Like how much house can I actually afford? If we didn't talk about it today, we talked about it in a previous Q&A. How much do I need saved for upfront costs? We talked about that as well. Some things you might ask when buying your home, your first home, or even another home is how old are the roof and major systems? And that's where your inspector is going to come in to look at and give feedback on that. You might even ask, why is the seller moving? So, you want to bring your questions and we'll be happy to answer them. Rhonda, do you have any questions that you hear a lot as well?
No, I went over the questions. The number one was again credit. We talked about that. Um, as opposed to income capabilities. So
Yeah, I think we did a lot of, provided a lot of information to you all. So again, please let us know. We're about to sign off for today, but we do appreciate that you all came today for the Q&A. We'll be here next Thursday as well. And you can reach out to Ronda Veal and myself, Dr. Veleta Eaton. You'll see my contact information. Um, Rhonda, did you want to provide any contact information?
hey everybody, I dropped it in the chat. to anybody who sees this after the fact and you can't reach Veleta and you're looking for a realtor that is going to put you first, put your needs first, feel free to call that number.
Okay, we'll definitely make sure that our contact information is in the chat, so you can reach out at your leisure and let us know how we can help you. All right, so we're about to, like I said, leave for the night, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you, Rhonda, and we will see you all next week. Please like, follow, and share, and let your friends and family know that we are here as well. Okay.
Woo, woo. Have a great night.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye.